Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Lipshitz Haas.
That's a great name. Yes, Matt, I have some more concerns in the world here.
Oh, another one?
Yes.
What's going on?
So, this one's a serious one.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that we are podcasters who do not take horse medicine to cure COVID.
You should go check out the discussion on the community fans page. Is pretty much been like completely infected by right wingers on like every post now. Yeah. There's like 90 comments on a post that someone made where, you know, the episode like season 1 where the accounting teacher's trying to get people to seize the day.
Yeah.
Which is actually really clever if you think about it, because he's an accounting professor and he's trying to get people to account for their lives.
Yeah.
Which I think that kind of went over some people's heads, but I thought that was brilliant. So like he's always like doing things to like basically like make his day better because he wants every day to be, you know, like great or whatever. So like in the episode, you know, Jeff is trying to like basically get caught seizing the day so he can get like a good grade in the class. And like, but he ends up dropping his guard for a moment and just orders like a regular coffee. And it's at that exact moment that the teacher shows up and he sees him like, an ordinary coffee for an ordinary man or whatever. And then he's like, he gets to the counter and he's like, I shall have, and he just like rips up the menu and he's like, a birthday cake. And so someone did a meme where it says, FDA approved vaccine that shows him going, I shall have a horse dewormer or whatever. And like all of these like right wingers are just like, anyone who likes this meme is a dumbass. You know, just calling it horse dewormer is just part of the media propaganda. You know, there's lots of human use for this drug. It's not just for horses.
Which is true, but but the fact is, people are literally going to animal places and getting the horse dewormer and using that as opposed to the human version of it, which is safer. And I'm not saying that that is a way to cure COVID or prevent it or to whatever. Or to treat it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But The fact that people are willing to take something that's not even intended for this, but not a vaccine that is approved by the FDA.
See, that makes no sense, right? That's the whole point. If you're actually gonna be consistent, then you wouldn't listen to anyone. But what's going on in our country right now is a thing called the death of expertise. There's actually a great book written about this. I forgot the author's name, but it's basically what it is that like everybody, because of the internet, social media, whatever, all kinds of different reasons for why this is happening. It's not just one thing, but like there's this idea that like anybody can have an opinion on anything, and then that opinion is just as valuable as someone who actually is an expertise in that subject. And then so that person goes through years, sometimes decades even, of studying this, whatever it is that they're an expert on. And then there's like a person who like watched a YouTube video or read a few articles, or heck, even just spends like a couple hours a day studying on. That person still doesn't have the level of expertise as someone who does that for a career, because even if you, let's say, spend 2 hours a day studying something, that's got nothing on people who study that shit for like 10 hours a day for like decades.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. I mean, you have enough knowledge to sound smart, and you might have, some interesting ideas about it, sure, but you are not the expert. At the most, you're like an amateur, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being an amateur, but like, if I'm thinking of like medicine or something that's actually gonna be like really important for my life, I'm gonna trust the expert, not the amateur. That's not to insult the amateur. That's just taking a realistic view of the world, personally. But we don't have that anymore in this country. We have people who watch YouTube videos, or they listen to the one. See, that's the other thing too. So there's a whole idea of being contrarian for the sake of being contrarian. So it's like your argument is not but like their argument is, if I have to choose between listening, if I'm going to listen to someone no matter what, like if I'm not just going to be completely like I'm not going to trust anyone, why did you go the opposite way of trusting the person who knows less than the person who knows more?
Well,
it makes no sense whatsoever.
It's like being a hipster back in the day, where you were cool because you were listening to this indie band that nobody's ever heard of, as opposed to listening to Justin Bieber or whatever. I'm just saying that it's like, not saying that Justin Bieber knows everything, but I'm just saying I get my medical advice from Justin Bieber, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. But but you know what I'm saying. It's just like you think you're cool because you're not listening to the mainstream. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're cool, and it doesn't mean you're right. But I don't know. Anyways, all I'm going to say is just Joe Rogan sucks. So, yeah. Ah, boy. Last good thing he did was news radio.
Yeah, and that was like over 25 years ago.
Yes. But the show still holds up. Watch it, folks. It's great.
It does.
Yeah. Anywho, today on the show, we are covering a unaired pilot that was produced for NBC in 2006, entitled Lipshitz Saves the World. It was created by Dan Fogelman, the creator of This Is Us, among other things. It starred Jack Carpenter, Leslie Nielsen, a pre-Modern Family Ty Burrell, and Brooklyn Decker. It was a very interesting show. About basically about a normal kid who basically has to save the world. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know why it didn't continue. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was like basically, it's interesting. The show felt a lot like two other shows that came out like a year later. There was the show Reaper that was on the CW. I don't know if you ever watched that.
No, I haven't actually seen that show. I never heard of it.
Okay, it was on the CW, and the concept of the show was that that this average guy that worked at like a Home Depot sort of place was actually the son of Satan. And he was basically, Satan came to him, and what ended up happening is he had to basically capture these souls to give to Satan. So he was kind of a reaper, is what he was.
Oh, okay.
If you can find it anywhere, I highly recommend the show. It's really good. It lasted like 1 or 2 seasons, but it was really, really good. The guy who played what was that? Was it Wild Dog or something on Arrow? The character.
Yeah, his name was Wild Dog.
Yeah, the guy that played him was one of the regulars on the show too.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, but anyways, it had a very similar feel to this. And and Reaper, by the way, the pilot of Reaper was directed by Kevin Smith, who is known for destroying people's childhood recently. Just joking. No.
Oh God.
Yes. So, check out our previous episode on Masters of the Universe Revelation and the toxic fandom behind that. But anyways, the whole that show was very similar. So was Chuck, in a way, where it was just basically about an average guy who is basically becomes something bigger than himself. You know what I mean? Like something is meant for something better than what he thinks he's meant for in life. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, what happens in this episode here, Matt?
This guy, his name is Adam Lipshitz, obviously. Well, not obviously. His name is Adam. And he's kind of like one of these people who just, like, has daydreams a lot. So, like, starts off with his teachers, like, doing the whole, like, Bueller type of thing. And
yeah,
just kind of goes off on the teacher. He's like, you're a dumbass or whatever. So then, teacher, like, sends him to the principal's office, and then Adam, like, goes on to this weird monologue about, like, just whatever. And then, like, he ends up, like, kissing some girl that he likes. Then turns out the whole thing was just some fantasy in his mind. And then he just ends up, saying here, and the teacher calls his name. And we kind of just get a picture, of him being kind of like somewhat of like an outcast. Like, people kind of pick on him and stuff for being kind of skinny and sort of like, a dork or whatever. And he comes home. His mom's like obsessed with watching like Jerry Springer and like trash TV, and she's like, one of the KKK guys is gonna call someone the N-word, and then they're gonna get into a fight. Like, whoa.
Yeah, the mom's played by Carol Ann Susie, who passed away recently. She was actually the voice of the mom of Howard on Big Bang Theory.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Just a little fact, even though I don't really like that show, but she passed away recently, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting there. So then what happens?
Well, then what happens is, as he's getting dressed for his soccer practice, which he doesn't like soccer, he'd rather play football, but his mom wouldn't let him. He sees Leslie Nielsen on the other chair watching Jerry Springer with his mom. And yes, not Leslie Nielsen playing the character, Leslie Nielsen, the person.
Yes. Because there's often times where I come into my apartment and Leslie Nielsen is sitting on a chair in my living room.
Well, I think that would be really scary since he died a few years ago, I think.
Well, that's what people think. He's actually still alive. He lives in my apartment.
Okay. You sure it's just not a skeleton in your closet? Oh, a literal skeleton? Okay.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yes. Yes.
You have Leslie Nielsen skeleton in your closet. Okay.
No, I had him taxidermied like Mrs. Bates in Psycho or something. No.
Oh God, no! Sorry, Leslie. I'm so sorry. Oh God, rest in peace. I love that guy though. I remember.
I know.
It was last week before freshman year in high school. I ended up seeing a movie of his with my friend Aaron. I forgot which one it was. So whatever movie he was in, like 1998, in like August. So,
yeah.
So it was, whatever that movie was, it was that movie. And I just remember the timeline, because I started high school in 98. So, but yeah, I just remember seeing that movie and just like, just that kind of corny behavior, or corny kind of, I don't know. It's
interesting because he started out as a serious actor, and then then he did the airplane movies, and then became like known for that type of humor. What year was that? You said
98, and I think it was around August when we saw it.
Wrongfully Accused?
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
That's one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a parody of The Fugitive.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Speaking of airplane too, he like says like, "Don't call me Shirley," and the kid's like, What? Like, he's like, "Oh, sorry." People usually say that to me. He's like, "Okay."
I've actually, I've played the same role as Leslie Nielsen once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I played Dr. Chumley in Harvey, and he was in the TV movie as Dr. Chumley.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, just a little known fact. 1996 TV movie starring Harry Anderson from Night Court. Yep.
Awesome, man.
So, anyways, what else happens here, Matt?
So Leslie Nielsen, the person, tells Adam that he's supposed to save the world, that he's kind of like basically a prophecy foretold him or something like that, but he can't tell him too much about it. So he has to commit an act of sexual assault, which this is 2006, and that was seen as funny back then in a lot of things. He has to somehow get, well, not necessarily sexual assault. I mean, he'd get the girl's consent, but still it's kind of weird to ask a girl, "Can I have your bra and can I touch your right booba?" And he says booby, like, which is weird because isn't booby kind of like a slang for like someone's grandmother? So
yeah, but I think he said booby.
I know, but a few times he said it. He pronounced it like booby.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, he did. He said it both ways, but I know distinctly a couple of times he said like booby.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if that's just him being weird, or whatever. So, and this reason why is because there's apparently a key inside the bra, like sewed inside or whatever, which is, you would think, if you're wearing a bra that you would feel something like inside of it, like pressing against your chest. Whatever. Not going to get into like logistics of this, but like.
Well, I always put a key in my bra.
I mean, don't we all, right? But I guess Depends on the size, though, because we find out later this is a pretty big key. But and it's supposed to unlock something that he couldn't really say what. And then he said, to beware of the man in red, because he's apparently like the enemy or whatever.
Yeah, he's played by Ty Burrell from Modern Family, among other things. Yeah.
About 3 years before Modern Family was started up, so 2006. I don't know. Just this show is just hilarious. Like, I don't know. Like, just something about it, because like I kept laughing at all of the things that he said. Like, where like they end up going to Applebee's, and he's just like, "This is great, isn't it? Eating in the neighborhood," or something like, "Well, it's eating good in the neighborhood." Just like the way he said it. I'm like, wow.
And then when they're at Applebee's, their waitress is played by Retta, who is later on Parks and Rec, and then Good Girls. Yeah. Very funny actress and comedian.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of Parks and Rec, check out our episode with Jim O'Hare.
Yeah.
Who played Gary, Larry, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, it's funny because today I was actually wearing my Mouse Rat shirt that I have. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I watched this and Retta was in it. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I just bought a Mouse Rat shirt the other day.
That's an interesting name, Mouse Rat.
Yes. It's the name of the band in the show. Yeah.
Now, is a mouse... This is kind of going off subject here. Is a mouse the same thing as a rat, but smaller? Or are they two different parts of the same... I mean, are they separate species, but they're related to the same thing? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I do know that if you take mouse dewormer, it'll cure the flu. No, wait, what? No?
Oh, God, we're going to go back to this. So, now that you got me on that again for a second, just for a second, won't take long. But, like, you know what this literally does? Some people are literally shitting themselves to death. I'm not even joking.
Well, I know they're shitting out the linings of their intestines, and it's just like... I
mean, that's, like, a horrible way to die. I mean, not everyone dies from it, but just the dehydration, oh God!
Well, the thing is I said on a post about the subject, I said something about how people are going to die listening to his podcast, and somebody took what I said literally, like what I said. They said, so they're going to listen to his podcast and die. I'm like, no, they're going to listen to what he says on his podcast and follow his advice, and then they're going to go and be stupid and get horse and cow dewormer and then kill themselves because of it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why I had written a whole paragraph to explain what I meant. I don't know.
These people, I don't know if they're just trolling or if they just lost any sense of being able to think critically. Or it could be both. I don't know. But and I'm not even certain. This might be a conspiracy theory, but I'm not even 100% certain that Joe Rogan really even did take ivermectin, or if he's just promoting it because his audience wants to hear that shit. Because, frankly, about probably 80% of his audience are right wing, maybe libertarian people. Even though he claims that he's like, I don't take sides, man. I just like to learn shit, man. We're all figuring this out together, man. Like the whole Glenn Beck shtick of we're just learning things together. But yet I have a huge platform and you listen to everything I say, but yet we're all equals. By definition, you're the master, they're the subjects in that kind of relationship. Okay. Because if you're, quote, just learning things together, how is it then that you have the authority and then you're pushing that down on other people and then they accept it?
I find it funny, too, that Joe Rogan now lives in the worst state in the country, too.
Yeah, he moved to Texas, which makes sense because he's trying to, solidify that grift that he's not a liberal, man. He's not, one of these California Democrats, man. He's in Texas. Texas, don't mess with Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in Austin though, and Austin is supposed to be a really cool place. So I mean, that's the only. It's like the most liberal part of the country. I mean, not the state. I mean, not the country, but yeah,
the state.
Yeah,
which is true. Which then probably proves that even regular Texas is even too right wing for him. Which means that he's probably not even as right wing as he even portrays himself as. But he realizes, shit, I can make a lot of money doing this. So I'm just going to keep this role, even if I don't even believe half the shit I say. These people are my bread and butter. And if some of them have to die, who cares? You know, I'm a piece of shit. So, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the show. Actually, do you want to take a break here, Matt? And we'll come back and we'll talk about the rest of this, and then we'll talk about some...
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom anyway. I took some ivermectin, so I'm starting to feel the little rumbling in my stomach, so...
Yeah, be careful, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be back after the break, or at least I will be. I don't know about Matt. We'll see. We'll be right back, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And I am back. Are you okay, Matt?
To tell you the truth, I am not feeling so great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you started
taking some of that stuff?
Have you started having like a craving for like hay?
Yeah, a little bit actually. I kind of was going to go outside. I don't have any hay, so I was just taking some clumps of grass and just trying to eat it, but didn't taste so good. Which is weird because I already took the vaccine, so I'm not even sure why I even started taking the ivermectin. I think it's because Jimmy Dore and Joe Rogan told me that it's a really good idea, so I just like, oh well, I guess I'll just try it.
After you took it, did you start to think that Masters of the Universe was too woke?
Yeah, I did actually. It was weird. It's almost like all these ideas are sort of linked to each other. And then when you have one idea, you're more likely to hold another idea. I don't know. It's almost like it's part of the plan. Anyway,
So back to Lipshitz Saves the World.
Yes. Sorry for imposing these political conversations on the people who don't really want to hear me or talk about it. Anyway, opine basically.
It's my fault. I brought it up at the beginning of the episode. So
I'm the one that had to run with it.
So what else happens here in this episode? So they're at Applebee's.
Yeah, they're at the Bees. And what happened? Oh yeah, so Leslie Nielsen just kind of appears in like the booth where they're basically both kind of vying for Adam. Like they want him on their side, kind of like a devil versus angel type of thing going on. Which I guess Leslie Nielsen is playing the part of an angel. I guess I don't know. And then
and obviously the man in red is Joe Rogan, right? Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I meant Satan. I'm sorry.
He's gonna look red pretty soon if his skin starts changing color, because he looked pretty gray and pale. So maybe he'll go into like a pinkish pig man type of look soon. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. They kind of have like this whole thing where like they're like all like in competition with each other. You know, like they both stand up and they're like, "Oh, I could stand up all day," and you know, "As can I, good sir," and you know, and sorry, there's just so many good lines in the show.
Yeah, I know.
Adam goes, I can count to 3, and then Leslie Nielsen goes, "Very good, Adam. The public school system has served you well." I don't know something about. I just cracked
That was
up.
funny.
Yeah. He's like, "No, I mean, I can count to 3 and you can sit down at the same time." And he's like, "This kid's brilliant," or whatever. I don't know.
Oh boy. So so then we have they're at the Applebee's. They figure out the situation, you know, and he's got to go to this party, and he goes to the party, and they're gonna have one of those like 7 minutes in heaven sort of thing in the closet, you know, that you see in TV shows, and I don't know if ever really happens in real life at parties.
I wouldn't know either. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've only been to like 2 parties in my life, and I don't remember that ever happening in any of them. So,
Yeah, most of the parties I've been to have been like family parties, so that'd have been weird.
yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, family reunions aren't a good place to do 7 minutes in heaven.
Oh boy.
So anyways, they got the whole thing, and she's like, "Oh, I'm thinking of a number. Whoever's got the closest number," and so then she picks Adam, and they're in the closet, and then he at one point tries to grope her because he needs to get the bra and touch her right boobie, and
For some reason,
I understand having to get the bra because the key's in it, but why did he have to touch her boobie?
I don't, unless that's like some magical. She's like a magical being, and somehow touching that would like do something in like the mystic universe. I have no idea. Yeah.
So, anyways, they start talking and everything, and then eventually she realizes that he's a good guy or whatever, and he explains the situation to her, and supposedly, I guess, it ends up happening that he, you know, got the bra and touched the boob, and like you do, and so there's a key inside of it. And so they got to go off and try to save the world. And there's a helicopter that shows up. And so the person that's in charge of things is she.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know who she is. We never find out.
Oh, nope.
So he thinks that she's in the helicopter, but no, it's Jenny McCarthy. Because it says he thought we would like her, and yeah, did, you know, yes.
Well, speaking of anti-vaccines, there you go. So she probably had a thing of
she's actually she changed her view on that and everything.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, she's okay now. So that was years ago. So yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah, because she fell into the whole anti-vax autism thing.
Yeah,
years ago because her son has autism, and yeah, so. Which
apparently that's so terrible, and you know, autism is a death sentence, and it's such a huge burden to your family, and you know that's the message you want to send to your autistic children, your family members is if only you were normal. Yeah. Anyway,
but anyways, coming soon is season 6 of The Masked Singer, which she's a judge on, and I love that show. Anyway, so Anyways, she's in there, and plus she was one of my earliest crushes, so I can't I can't not like her because of that. So wow. You know, even if she was
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Isn't she also Melissa McCarthy's cousin?
Yeah.
Or are they sisters? Oh, cousin.
They're cousins. Yeah.
Okay.
And and she's married to Donnie Wahlberg. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Who was on The Masked Singer last season? Not as one of the contestants, but as somebody there, and she could not guess that it was him.
Oh wow!
She guessed her. He sang at one part, and she didn't know that it was her own husband, which is hilarious.
Wow.
So, yeah. Anyways, also watch Blue Bloods. It's a good show, even though it's kind of conservative in certain ways, but I like it a lot. It's a good show. It's a really good show.
Yeah.
Featuring Gregory Jabara, a former guest on our show.
Yeah.
I'm just going to advertise all of our former episodes.
Yeah.
So, So basically, she's in the helicopter, and then they get in the helicopter, and he's waiting for her to fly it, but she's like, "You're driving," and so somehow he knows how to fly a helicopter.
It's like part of his nature, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, part of the prophecy. And they play Foo Fighters. You know, My Hero is he's lifting off the.
Goes my hero.
Oh yeah, I forgot too. The Modern Family guy tried to shoot him with a rocket launcher before they got to the helicopter.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right out in the front yard, like basically like a bunch of like frat dudes, but they're all like older guys fighting at like a high school party.
Yeah,
out in the front yard.
Yeah, and the waitress played by Retta was at the party too.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah,
you're like, you know what? On the Friday night, what I'm thinking is I'm going to crash some high school kids party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get drunk, and I'm just going to challenge another adult who's also at the party for some reason to a fight in the front yard, man.
Well, I mean,
relive my youth.
All of the parties that I went to in high school, we had the 7 Minutes in Heaven thing.
Mm-hmm.
Retta and Leslie Nielsen were there. And, wait, no.
That'd be a cool party if it was.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, so anyways, they then, they go off flying in the helicopter, and then we cut over to, the Man in Red, Ty Burrell's character, and Brooklyn Decker's character, who is Rebecca Fellini. That's the girl that he likes, that he got the bra from. Anyways, standing there, and before it had been mentioned that it was possible that the Man in Red is Adam's dad.
Oh yeah.
So at this part, she says, "Yeah, I did it. We just, it's." She says something like, "Yeah, he was one of the nicest guys I've ever fooled around with." And then he mentions, "Yeah, he might be your brother."
Yeah.
So she's she's obviously the daughter of the Man in Red, and yeah, and so that's how that kind of ends. And then we have a clip for the next episode that never happened, and we see the two of them. We see Rebecca and Adam in bed together, and he's saying, "I can't believe that just happened," and everything. And it's just like, yeah, and this is right after we find out they might be brother and sister.
Right. So, like, wait a minute, that's fucked up. So he told her. I mean, that's okay. So, like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just like that. That didn't make any sense to me. It's
no, it's fine.
Wait a minute. Like, one thing if they did it before, and he's like, "Yeah, he might be your brother," and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't." But then he tells her that before, and she's like, "I'm still gonna sleep with them." Like, what? Like, I don't get it. But okay.
That's why I'm telling you shouldn't have 7 Minutes in Heaven at family reunions.
You shouldn't. You just shouldn't do it. It's bad news bears. And oh god.
Yeah, and
maybe something else happened. Maybe they got drunk or maybe or whatever. We don't know.
The sad fact is we'll never find out. And and then Leslie Nielsen is in the bed with them too.
Right. Or maybe she found out that they weren't actually siblings, so then they end up having sex. We don't know, so...
Or maybe they didn't even have sex and they're just in a bed together.
That could be it, too.
Because all he says is, I can't believe that just happened. That could have been anything.
It could have been literally anything. They could have been watching Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talked about getting COVID, and he's like, I can't believe that happened.
Yes.
And, well, of course, he couldn't believe that happened. It's very obvious. But, so I guess what they really would have saw was Joe Rogan on his podcast saying, get the vaccine. They're like, I can't believe that happened. They're like, neither can I. So.
And then Leslie Nielsen was in bed with them.
Yep.
Like happens.
Like it happens.
Yes. Well, and whenever I wake up, Leslie Nielsen is in bed with me. Wait.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, my bed's only for one person, so it'd be really kind of scrunched up a little bit. But
yeah, mine too. So it's kind of weird because,
And I usually kind of hang off a little bit already. I don't like sleeping close to the walls. I'll be frantically falling off the bed,
Yeah. And Leslie likes to hog the covers, so it sucks. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did you want to take a look at some user reviews for this, Matt?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So there's 2 user reviews here on the Internet Movie Database. And okay, so one of them is from Martin Haffer, on June 8th of 2020. He gives it a 10 out of 10. He says, wow, I think the networks blew it with this one. Lipshitz Saves the World is one of the stranger and more interesting television pilots I've seen. It's so good that I wonder how it never made it to be a series. The networks really made a mistake of not approving additional episodes beyond this pilot. Okay, he says the story is blah blah blah. It says the story has a strangeness that I loved as I watched it. It also had originality in spades, but apparently it was too weird for the network execs, and they passed on making this series. Our loss. I think it would have been terrific. Mm-hmm. And like I said too, I mean, I think this was it's weird that a year later, and if you liked this, I highly recommend watching Reaper, because it's got a very similar feel. About a nobody whose life is more important than he thinks it is, And it's a really good show, and I highly recommend it, and I think you would really like it, Matt, actually. So,
okay, yeah, I'll try to find it.
Yeah, I'll look up and see where it's streaming. It's got to be streaming somewhere. But yeah, I recommend that show, and Chuck to a lesser degree. Chuck's kind of interesting in its own way, but it's just the whole normal guy who finds out that he has basically superpowers in a way, you know what I mean, sort of thing, or that he's very important to the world. So I think this show was basically a year ahead of its time,
Yeah, that's what it probably is. Really, it's
maybe the next season. Because the thing is, this was produced by the pilot was produced by NBC. That actually the next year picked up Chuck.
Right.
So. It's just kind of interesting.
This could have been... I think this was... this show was a victim of what I am now calling, just my own phrase, I just made it up right now, a victim of the Dana Carvey show syndrome. I just made that up. Where a show would like this would probably do better on Showtime or HBO, not a regular network.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think
now it would definitely this show would be on something like Hulu, because I mean it's similar to what was that show? That show that Seth Rogen produced.
I don't know.
The one with the one with the girl from Scrubs and Happy Endings. About the video game guy that.
A Future Man. He did
Future
that?
Man. Yeah, Seth Rogen produced that. Yeah, because it's very. This is kind of similar to Future Man.
It is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not the Man in Red thing, but like like a guy who likes video games and he's just like a regular person or whatever. Yeah. But he's like, I mean, because destined.
Yeah, basically, like Future Man and Reaper are both very similar to this show in concept, not in plot or anything necessarily, but similar in concept. So yeah, the every man is basically somebody who's going to have to save the world in a way, So here's another review here. This one's from Justin Bogan on March 7th of 2017, and it's he says, hilarious, and this is an 8 out of 10. Just 5 minutes in, and you wonder why this didn't get picked up for a series. Adam Lipshitz is pushed around nerdy kid in a high school who thinks he is bound for greater things. However, it's just in his mind until he comes home and finds Leslie Nielsen in his living room. Adam soon finds out Nielsen is there to help him since Adam is on a quest to save the world. Adam's first goal to start saving the world is to get a cute cheerleader to make out with him, feel her right boobie, and take her bra, which contains a key, all while avoiding the Man in Red. It's well done, written well, has great lines, and many callbacks to past Leslie Nielsen projects. Well worth your time if you can find it. So yeah, it's definitely good. I mean, I enjoyed this. Would you recommend people watch this, Matt?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is, I really loved it a lot. Most of the pilots most of the pilots we review are just not that good at all. And I honestly just picked this at random. I wasn't even sure if it was going to be good or not. And, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know. My thing is somebody get working on reviving this or something, get somebody different than Leslie Nielsen because he's dead. So you could still get Ty Burrell to be the Man in Red, but if not, recast the whole thing, make it again. I think it would be good. Right now, it could be on Hulu or Netflix or something right now. HBO Max or something, Yeah. Anyways, so Matt, have you been watching anything lately that you want to recommend to people? Anything before we go here?
Yeah, actually, I started watching Titans on HBO Max recently, and I've only watched the first 4 episodes of the first season, but yeah, I really liked it. I mean, I thought it was just going to be like a regular, like CW type of superhero show. I didn't realize that it was like it had a much darker kind of twist to it. Like Robin is pretty much like just beats the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I would recommend that.
Cool.
I haven't done it yet, but I was gonna watch some of the. There's an animated movie about John Constantine, or a show.
Yeah,
I kind of want to check that out too. A bunch of cool animated stuff. HBO Max apparently went all in on DC, whereas D Plus has Marvel, I guess it looks like. But
yeah,
so I've been getting into the DC stuff because I have more options now to check some of the stuff out. So
yeah. Yeah, speaking of HBO Max, I've been watching, I'm like halfway through it. It's been out for a while, but the Righteous Gemstones. a Danny McBride show about a televangelist family.
Oh, wow.
It is amazing. Starring John Goodman and other people. Walton Goggins is in it. It's Adam Devine. It's amazing. Highly recommended. I think you would like it, Matt. Also, over on Hulu, really good show that just started called Only Murders in the Building, starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. It's really interesting. It's about these three people that are really into true crime podcasts that all live in the same building in New York, and there's a death in the building, and they're basically decided to make their own podcast to try to solve the murder or possible murder in the building. Wow. So yeah, it's really good comedic show. It's got a lot of good guest stars like Nathan Lane and Tina Fey and Amy Ryan and Sting, and as himself. So yeah, it's just a really good show. Highly recommended. Yeah, give it time too. It grows on you. It's like the first episode's kind of slow, but it grows on you. And plus, plus Martin Short and Steve Martin are just geniuses, anyways. So
yeah, they are.
Yeah. So yeah, check those out. Before we go here, I mean, make sure you check out your our social media. We've got a Facebook group called All Too Real 2 Podcast Group. We've got a TikTok, folks. Tell us what to do. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the TikTok. I don't know about the ticks and the talks. I'm not really sure what the kids are doing these days on there. I don't know if you want me to go on there and lip sync to a Selena Gomez song. I just mentioning her, so I figured. But I'll do it. But if somehow that'll get us more listeners, I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, or lip sync to like. I mean, I don't really know any of the new artists, but
yeah.
I do like.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We both stopped to say.
Yeah.
See, we're both courteous to each other.
Yes.
We're like, oh, no, I like this. Her name is Camilla something. I don't know her last name. She's got a bunch of cool songs.
Yeah.
I would lip sync to one of her songs. It's called oh damn it, I forgot the name of it, but she played it on SNL once.
Oh, okay.
Really good song.
So if you want Matt to lip sync to a song,
to Camilla something, I don't know her last name.
Yes.
I would ask my niece, but she's probably like in bed right now. But hey,
it happens.
Who's that Camilla person? I should probably just be sarcastic. It's whatever the name is, because I can't say the name because I don't know what it is, but she does.
Camilla Cabello.
That's there it is.
Yeah. So
I would lip sync to one of her songs.
Yeah. I thought that's what her name was. I had to look it up just to make sure I didn't say the wrong name. Anyways, so yeah, we'll do that. We also have we have an Instagram at Cullen Park. We've got Twitter, Cullen Park. Check those out. We do that. Go to our TeePublic, buy a shirt. I still haven't gotten mine in the mail. They delivered it to the wrong place or something. I don't know. I had to reorder it, so they didn't make me pay for it again. So they were good customer service. So hopefully I get it soon. It should be in the mail, and I'll let you know the quality of the shirt. But it's a good deal for some shirts on there, and some other stuff from our show. Also, check out our Patreon. Maybe we'll add something on there on the Patreon where if you donate so much money, Matt will lip sync to any song you choose, or I will too.
Song.
Yeah, any song. Yeah. You want Matt to lip sync to Justin Bieber's "Baby Baby." He'll do it.
I mean, yeah. Of course, now that song would be considered classic rock because it's so old.
I know. You want Matt to, lip sync to a whole episode of Joe Rogan's podcast? If you pay us $1 million, he will do that.
How would I do that?
I don't know.
That would take like a skill of such a master.
That's why I'm saying if you give us $1 million, Matt will do that.
I would. I would sit through that and memorize that shit. I would just pour through it, study it like 12 hours a day until I get every single inflection right, the timing of every single, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how people study. They can memorize the entire Quran. And they can literally just recite the entire book,
and
from start to finish.
And for $1 million, Matt will do that. And
you're not really supposed to do it for financial reasons, but
and for $2 million, I will as well. So so message me at mike@cullenpark.com. And we'll figure that out, the logistics of that, if you want to give us $2 million. We'll have the best damn podcast ever if you give us $2 million.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Get some really good equipment and maybe buy a studio. But anyways,
just like Joe Rogan, he's got a real studio, then we can have a real studio.
Yeah.
And then we could just...
Maybe we'll move to Austin.
Oh, God, no. No, not anywhere in Texas. I always wanted to live in California, but I think that was like when I was younger, and California just had like this like cool mystique to it. But now I'm like, I don't want to drown or have the land like just chunk off into the sea. So, I guess I'm stuck in Ohio.
You know what prevents that though?
What's that?
Horse dewormer.
Yes. Ivermectin will actually cure global warming or climate change.
Yes. If only all the people in the line of the hurricane that just recently hit were taking it, they'd be fine.
Oh, God. Wow. That's terrible.
Damn, I'm joking. Just making sure that people don't believe anything I'm saying. So, but anyways, folks, just share the show. Tell people to, listen to us. Sorry for the weirdness about the Joe Rogan thing. I'm just so fucking pissed at him. Anyways, so people, wear a mask. Get the vaccine. Wear a fucking condom. And until next time, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.